Yo, what is good, my people? It's your boy Jason Gooner. We're back in the building. And you don't know, it is the EPL preview show. Week 13, people have a match trying to creep up on us tomorrow, Friday. So, yes, it's Thursday night. You don't know, the regular girls have a game tomorrow night. So, we're going to be doing a live watch along for that. So, I wanted to go ahead and get the Week 13 prediction show in the books from now, people. If we find somewhere for write. Like a book full up, star, Jono. Time for a new book. Alright, find a page. Let me find a page. Jono, star. Usually you'd skip out a one page, you know, but it's like I never even do that at the time, yeah. Right, let me see. Yes, people, smash that like button, people. You don't know the drill. We're on YouTube, people, so you have to smash the like button. That is very important. I hope everybody that celebrate today, if you're in the States, it was Thanksgiving today, so I know some people might be belly full, want to go to bed, but I don't know, we have some football to discuss and break down all the latest team news. You know, teams that are in Europe had their games, so you know, some people are a bit happier right now, depending on what club you support. My side had a brilliant week in the Champions League. They said it was going to be a tough game, and we made light work of our opponents. So yeah, was very, very pleased with that this week. Man's out here trolling Gyökeres, scoring in his stadium and basically doing a knockoff version of his celebration. So Gabriel is with the shithousery people. Believe me. But yes, people, it was a great day, I must say. Had a wonderful spread. Good friends and family. So it was a great day, people. It was a great day. I hope everybody else had a joyous day as well. Yeah, man. I had a great time today with some friends. And yeah, it was good times, people. But I don't know, it's now time to break down these football matches for the weekend. Some good matchups. Of course, the big one, Liverpool and Manchester City. What version of Manchester City will turn up? A lot of talking points this week, people. We're going to get into all of it. But some press conferences go on already, so I'm going to try to get some news from those. And then we'll jump right into the games. If you're new to the channel, we do this each and every week. We do a preview show. We do match predictions, document them, and then we'll see who wins at the end of the week in the review show. You don't want to finish last, though, because you'll be donkey of the week. Don't know how a man that run the actual program can be the donkey, but anything is possible on Jason Gooner TV, people, so even the expert might become the donkey. I guess that's what happens when you give yourself the title expert, right? Yes, people. But while I get the match them prepared, just smash the like button, people. Share the content. Yeah, man. Subscribe if you're new. This is Jason Gooner TV, of course. In the name, you know that I'm an Arsenal fan, but maybe you hear accent as well. I'm from Jamaica, so this channel focuses on basically Arsenal, the Premier League, and everything. Anything football related you might find on this channel. So you get a little bit of everything, but always football. CK, big up yourself. Him say, glad you had a good day. Went to my barber and got cooked by him. And other customers, my barber is a United fan. Shameless. Yeah, bro. You know, I don't know many City fans personally, but the ones that I do know, I definitely let them know how I feel, you know. Haven't gotten a chance to say many bad things to the to the City fans over the years. So Right now, enough shameless behavior going out in the troll world, believe me. But hey, you have to take your opportunity when you get them, you know, and then finally give us one. So if we deal with it, CK. All right, so let's take a look at the latest. Let's take a look at the latest. Where is it, bro? Hold on, man. I want to find the rundown. Hold on, I'm gonna find this. Yeah, so I'm not. I guess because it's a Thursday, I'm not seeing the list like last time where them give it a nice rundown of what go on with all the team them and the injuries. What? When did that happen? Vicario fracture him right ankle today? I never know say that I go on. Big up yourself, Corey. So what go on, bro? We're outside, bro. We're outside. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate them thing there. Right, I know man is stuffed. Man, I drink some water because drink a whole heap of other things today already. So water time now, you know them time, yeah. Normally I have my pint to do the show, but no pint needed today, people. Water time, H2O. Need for bring back everything now. Alright, so I have a little bit of team news from some teams. Let me tell you guys about that right now. So the first one is Arne Slot talking to the press ahead of their game on Sunday. And they have some things to discuss. So they're assessing the injuries sustained by Bradley and Konate in the Real Madrid game. Latter stages of the game. Trent is ready to start, says the coach though. So let's wait and see, but it's never a good sign if players. Kanaga had to take off and Ibu didn't walk off the pitch as he should. He should have made a round and clapped the fans, but unfortunately he couldn't, so that's not a good sign. They are still being assessed, and it is so close after the game yesterday. I just came off the training pitch, so I can't tell you exactly where they are. So we have to wait and see. On whether Alexander Arnold would be fit enough to start, Slot replied, yes, he would. So that's good news for the Liverpool fans. You know, Conor Bradley, I thought, played a really good game against Real Madrid. So did Konate. So that's a bit of a worry for them. Konate and Van Dijk have been really solid together as a pairing. So I'm sure going into this Man City game, Arne Slot wouldn't want to break that pairing up. Like he said, it was Thursday today. Still have tomorrow and Saturday potentially for Konate to be better for that game. So I think more than likely he should be okay. And of course, if Bradley isn't good, you know that you're getting back Trent. So looks like things are going okay. Now let's look at this news. I didn't get to watch this game, but I know that. Okay, so wow. So I didn't even hear this news. How did I not? So far records, big up yourself, you know. Yeah, man, big up, big up, big up. So I didn't know this news at all, people. So after, I guess during the game against Man City, Vicario had an ankle problem, and it looks like he had surgery on Monday for a fracture in his right ankle. So Of course, that means he'll be out for a while. So I guess the backup keeper must have kept the game today. Vicario actually had a really good game in their last game against City. I've always kind of made fun of him because he's kind of poor on the set pieces, but he's a very good shot stopper. Can't take that from him. And that was on full display against City. Fraser Forster, the veteran, is the backup there. So he played in the Europa League today and will probably have to be starting as well. So, yeah, another one added to the long injury list for Spurs. Still without Romero, Van de Ven, Richarlison, quite a few players out right now for Spurs. So now they have lost their number one goalkeeper, Vicario. Actually, Vicario did start for Italy in the international break as well. So quite a blow to him in his progression as a player. Not the right time to be getting an injury. I think his form has picked up a bit lately. Always a good shot stopper, as I said, but maybe doesn't command his box well enough for most. But yeah, that's the major news on the injuries, and let's just jump right into the fixtures now, people. So we have, let's see. All right, so tomorrow's game, the first game of the weekend, is going to be Brighton versus Southampton. Of course, these two teams pretty much on opposite ends of the table. Brighton having a much better season than Southampton currently. And this is the current form of both teams in the league. Let's just take a look at that. All right, so like I said, Brighton in 5th place, just outside the top 4 on 22 points. The same points as Chelsea and Arsenal above them, but +5 goal difference, so slightly behind there. They did have a good 2-1 victory away from home last week against Bournemouth, and Southampton, of course, falling 3-2 to Liverpool. I thought Southampton actually played pretty decent in that game. Just some really bad mistakes around the back defensively, basically handed Liverpool some goals. And yeah, you can't do that to a team like Liverpool. So they paid the price by not getting anything from a game where, when they look back, they'll say, oh, that was actually a good performance, right? So first, let's take a look at Brighton's team currently, or what they used last week against Bournemouth. They've recently been bolstered by the return of João Pedro, one of the best players in the league when it comes to attacking players. And his return has pretty much, just given another dimension to this Brighton attack. Started the game, had a goal, got 64 minutes last week, but his ability to just find space in the attacking third, in what is basically a free role. You can't really pin him down to one area on the pitch, and I think that's why he's so effective. And I think when you pair him with an intelligent player like a Welbeck, they're definitely just have a good synergy working off each other. So yeah, very, very difficult to contain. Karo Mitoma, I think, hasn't really been getting the goals and assists this season, but I do think his performances have been pretty good. When you watch the team play, he's always involved. Good to see him get back on the score sheet last week. And then in defense, they have kind of settled on this back four recently. Lewis Dunk was out. I think he finally did make a return. No, he's still not on the bench, but he shouldn't be far away. But at the same time, I don't think there's a huge rush because I think Julio and Van Hecke, for me, are actually the two best center backs on their team. Julio is kind of in there now because of Dunk's injury. We know he's the club captain and everything, but telling you, I wouldn't be rushing him back. And Verbruggen, after what I thought was a bad start to the season, he missed some time injured, and then when he came back in, did look a bit rusty. But I think recently has been putting in some great performances. Also, the last window with the Netherlands did really well as well. So looks like his form is rounding back into somewhere that we saw last season and also at the Euros in the summer. Verbruggen, very good goalkeeper, finally playing like it now as well. So Brighton, I think, a team that, you know, most people would think they're going to be in and around that top 6 argument, maybe even 4 if they can have a good run of luck with the injuries and everything. They do have quite a few players out right now, Kadioglu, Lewis Dunk, among others. So, if they can just kind of hold it together fitness-wise, I think that they will have a chance. Now, I do think in this game it will be a big miss to have Baliba out. He got 2 yellows in the last game, so he'll have to miss this one through suspension. But they do have the new signings, Matt Weaver, who came on in the 64th minute in the last game. Matt O'Reilly looks to be a decent player as well in the midfield. And they have Gruda as well, who hasn't been playing much, but they do have him. So they have some options there in midfield, so interested to see who they replace Baliba with, but I think they'll be fine. And Pedro and Welbeck should also bring the damage up front, so they should be good to go for next week. Now, their opponent, Southampton, this is the team that they started out with against Liverpool last week. Alex McCarthy in goal for the injured Ramsdale. Had a decent game after making a bad mistake, but really need to cut that stuff out around the back if they want to start to get points in this league. Defensive lineup, they have a bit of injuries back there. Flynn Downs, normally a midfielder, was playing in the back line, actually made a big mistake as well for one of the goals. So they're having to chop and change around there. They went with the wing-back system, Ryan Fraser one side, Kyle Walker-Peters the other, and then the other 3 played the centre-back roles. Armstrong played as a winger. So did Dibbling, Fernandez and Lallana were in the midfield, and Paul Anuachu was up front. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, they go to Brighton. It should be a tough place to go and get a result, but they should really go there with nothing to lose. I mean, I wouldn't say it's quite a free hit for Southampton, but I wouldn't think that many people would have them winning this game. So they have nothing to lose at the end of the day. So let's see what kind of tactics they take. We know that their coach Martin, he's gonna play his style of football regardless. How many times they lose a ball in their defensive third, he doesn't really care. They're gonna stick to their principles. So, yeah, I think the key for them is, can they put the ball in the back of the net? They were able to create some chances against Liverpool last week, so that should give them a little bit of confidence. Liverpool, the stingiest team in the league so far, and they were able to find 2 goals against them. So, that should give them a bit of confidence. As I said, they need to make sure that they're getting Fernandez and Dibbling on the ball. I think those are their 2 most influential and creative players at the moment. So yeah, if they can get those guys in some decent areas to try to affect the game, that will help them a lot. I think Aribo came on in the last game and showed that he can also, add to that creative side of things. But they need to try to find a striker that they trust. They tried Onuachu last week. We've seen Cameron Archer. We've seen Armstrong through the middle, Ben Brereton in a 2-striker roll up through the middle as well. So they're searching for the best way to get goals. But I think, Southampton, if they put it together the way that their coach wants them to play, they'll be able to stay in football matches. I just think if they can cut out the mistakes, which looks to be a big if, because it's a pretty good sample size now, 11 games. And, of all the teams that are at that lower end, I think they have been the most guilty of just giving away goals and chances at times, just due to all their personal mistakes on the pitch. So not doing themselves any favors, and I think that's a part of the reason why, even though they play some good football for stretches in games, they're where they are in the table. So I don't think a trip to Brighton is going to help with that. I think they have a very good press, the Brighton team, very organized. So I think they will be able to pick off Southampton a few times. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a Brighton victory, and I'm gonna say Brighton wins this one 3-1. Brighton gonna win 3-1 tomorrow, people. That's my prediction. 3-1 to Brighton. Welbeck and Pedro again. Game birds up full, up full, up full. Coach Edwards there. I'm agree with the 3-1. All right, big up yourself, coach. One Dan Sherman from Clarendon. Big up yourself, you know. Every time, bro. Up full. Yeah, man. So Brighton versus Southampton, people. I'm going with a 3-1 to Brighton. Don't be surprised if Pedro score again. And it's been a few weeks for Mr. Welbeck. So he's probably going to make a return to that score sheet. And Southampton, don't know who going to score for Southampton. Maybe Diblin get a goal this time. I'm always set up the goal. Maybe him score. All right, so 3-1 to Brighton for the first matchup. So now we're moving to Saturday, people, and there's no early morning Saturday kickoff in the States or in Jamaica, but there'll be 4 matches right at 10 o'clock. So the first one is Brentford and Leicester. This is a potential Jamaican matchup here, but let's look at the lineups, or let's look at the tables first. So it was Brentford with 17 points in 11th place, and Leicester just outside the relegation in 16th and 10 points. Last week it was a tough fought 0-0 for Brentford. They should have really been up in this first half, but could not convert their chances. Wissa a bit guilty of missing some good chances there. The red card was by Christian Norgard. It was originally a yellow, upgraded then to a red, and they had to play the entire second half basically with 10 men, and were able to do so admirably, keeping out the other team. Flecken had a really good game, plenty of saves on the day. Another Dutch goalkeeper. Vandenberg has settled in pretty good now, looks to have nailed down a role in that back line. Collins and Pinnock pretty much the mainstays, pretty much always there if they're fit. Keane Lewis Potter did play a deeper role this time. Then they went to the midfield of Norgard, Jensen, and Vitaly Janelt, and the forwards were Damsgaard, Mbumo, and Wissa through the middle. So that was how they started the game last week. Of course, you know, the likes of some players not around right now. So this more than likely could be the starting lineup again. I don't see many changes in the offing for this fixture coming up. Wouldn't be surprised if they just played this entire 11 again. You know, maybe they try to. Yeah, I don't really know what they could do, because you know, maybe Rorslev goes into a defensive role for this game. But I feel like against Leicester, maybe they might play the same lineup. But it's going to be interesting to see what Thomas Frank goes with. I think the usual suspects will be around, though, the likes of Wissa and Mbumo, Pinnock, Collins, Norgard, the captain, Janelt, Jensen. Sometimes start, sometimes off the bench. He could drop Damsgaard deeper into the midfield and go with the likes of a Kevin Shaw there or Carvalho up in the forward line instead. So there's options there. And of course, Thiago now is back, the striker, so he could get a look in as well. But don't see them benching Wissa right now. He hasn't scored in a few weeks, but he has been on decent form this season. So more than likely, the starting 11 probably might not change, but let's see. And then when we are talking about their opponent, Leicester, they, of course, faced Chelsea last week. Got a consolation goal late to make the scoreline look a little nicer, but to be honest, Chelsea really dominated this football match. They did lose 2-1, and of course, Steve Cooper lost his job, so they will be having an interim in this game. So it's always interesting to see, you know, how much the interim changes things going into the next game. I think the likes of Bobby Reed, Jordan Ayew, Mavididi, Oliver Skip, all these players who didn't start last week, you know, they'll be trying to show the coach something in training, show them that they're ready for a start. It's been a good while since Bobby got a start in the league. So, you know, I'm hopeful that he can, you know, he seems to have gotten over his injury issues with the cut right by his Achilles. So I am hopeful. I'm hopeful that we get to see a Bobby versus Ethan matchup tomorrow, or Saturday, sorry. But in terms of a new manager bounce, it's always tough to tell, because you know, it's not really and truly the new manager yet. It's an interim boss. I think is going to be taking over. So do you get that same type of thing? I mean, we got that with Ruud van Nistelrooy, but you know, I don't think that the interim coming on for Leicester has the type of cachet that you know, we don't know him. You know, we knew Van Nistelrooy. It's a different type of thing, you know. So, all right, game birds drop Femon. You don't really miss nothing yet, Skull. I just one game I do so far. Brighton and Southampton. Oh, Pristine there. Write down Pristine from now. No, Pristine drop. All right, game birds a 3-1. Oh no, that's for the second game. 3-1 Brentford, okay. Richard Edwards said 3-2. Yeah, I think Brentford will score goals against this Leicester team. I do. Pristine said 2-1 to Brighton. Red Skull said 2-1 Brighton. All right, got it. Yeah, so for me, people, Brentford, I think will take this one home. I think at home they're formidable. They usually score at least two goals. I think this game might be a candidate for 3-4 goals. But I'm gonna go a little conservative and say 3-1. I think they'll get a 1 goal. So 3-1 again. Bless up. Doc in the building. Doc say I'm a forward in a picking. All right, so let me know if that 2 earlier affair Brentford, Leicester, or Brighton, Southampton, Doc Sports. DOC. Bless up RR. You don't miss too much. 2 game. Brighton and Southampton, Brentford and Leicester. I just finished the Brentford Leicester. You think Van Nistelrooy can improve Leicester? That's a great question in a challenge. Here's my other question. Will Van Nistelrooy be managing them on the weekend? Let me know, Chalom. Because I know he got hired, you know. But I don't know if it's like to the point where this man going to manage the team or not. Let me see. Or is it not even like fully? I don't even know. Yeah, it's not announced yet. Okay, cool. All right. So DOC said that was for Brighton, Southampton. All right, cool. Got you. Yeah, man. Turkey Day mash me up, man. My full. My belly full. Can't done. Leicester 2-1. What? Red Skull say interim manager bounce, you know. Bless up, Cranky. I'm going to watch back your interview with Prezi. I was busy with family and friends and, you know, Turkey Day in it up. But definitely planning on having that be my nighttime viewing to put me to sleep tonight. Hopefully I can watch all of it before I fall asleep. But that's definitely the plan, Cranky. Big up yourself. Quite a coup to secure the interview with the president, you know. I thought them bunny out, Cranky. What happened? You're back in their good graces again? RR said 2-all. Yo, every week RR drop a 1 prediction and cut, you know. I'm not sure which game he must say 2-all for neither. Pristine said 2-0 Brentford. All right. 3-2 Leicester. RR. Okay. So the first game a 2-2 then. All right. 3-1 Brentford. Interview got cut short, lost his connection. Oh, man. The man was always in him phone, losing connection. What a thing. Well, I was over there and I had YouTube open on my phone. So when I clicked on it, you saw the picture of what was going on Cranky Show. And like at the time, like the president's face was inside the man camera. Like all you could see was like him face. I was just like, geez, this guy don't understand how this thing works, you know. Bless up, double. Oh, go on. I hope you ate good today, my boy. I'm sure you did. Yeah, man, kids, man. But I enjoyed myself though. It was one of Julie teammates invite us over to their place. So we did make a rib roast. I made some rum punch and we made banana pudding. And we took to just kind of add on to what was going on and everything over there. So yeah, man. Turkey, ham, sweet potato pie, mac and cheese, stuffing, broccoli salad, all kind of food, brother. I mean, eat till I can't. I don't even want to see food. I don't even want to see food, bro. So wait. So Red Skull. Okay, yeah. Me did get that one there already, Red Skull. Me did get that one there. I said 3-2 Leicester. All right, me get that one there. 2-0 Brighton, me did say. Me not hear you note it. All right, let me see. Yeah, man. I have it game birds, but thanks for letting me know again. But I have it 2-0 Brighton. I never say it, but I must say just write it down or something. All right. So let's go to the fixtures and let's go to the second matchup at 10 o'clock. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. So this is from Sellers Park, people. So last week, Palace got a surprising result, I thought. A 2-2 draw with Aston Villa at Villa Park. I think that's probably one of their better results of the season, to be honest. Kind of tying in with what Villa has been up to lately. Just not quite getting over the line with their results. But here was the lineup for Palace on the day. So the defense getting healthier. I think if you ask Glasner, who are your 3 players that you want to play on the back line? I think this is probably 3 out of 4 of them, or 2 out of the 3 of them. I think Chris Richards might have an argument to be in this back 3 if everybody's fit. But Chalobah did come across from Chelsea and very good player, so could start him as well. But that's looking more like a defense that he would want to play right there. Then he still has Munoz and Mitchell as the wing back slash, working midfielders on the wings. Then he has 2 hard-working central players, Doucouré and Will Hughes. And then up front, I think this is where he's kind of figured something out. Ismail Assar playing more of almost a second striker to Mateta, but also wide at times. Kind of a little more fluid of a system. And then Devaney, the youngster, getting a goal and a counter attack as well. Well taken goal. So that's how they scored their 2. And of course, it was Villa, actually having to equalize. So, Palace did have the upper hand in this game at a point. Still without the likes of Eze, definitely their talismanic figure in the midfield, attacking midfield area. Should be okay to be at least on the bench for this next game, but we'll have to kind of wait and see how the press conference goes tomorrow when he's asked about it. But he should be back based on what they were saying leading up to it. I think Dean Henderson has been on decent form. My cousin Nick, favorite goalkeeper in the world. So he's been playing really well. And then Newcastle, after a terrible result for them, I don't think anybody in our entire predictions predicted West Ham to win this one. But this is how Newcastle started this game. They were without Dan Burn, who was suspended based on yellow cards. He should be back for this one, so Lloyd Kelly should drop back to the bench. They went with Willock, Longstaff, and Guimaraes in midfield. Joe Linton pushed further up the park. Anthony Gordon one side, Joe Linton the other, and Isak through the middle. Harvey Barnes came on at halftime. He's looking like he's liking to use him more off the bench, but I'm wondering if starting Harvey Barnes might not be the best thing. Drop Joe Linton back into that midfield where he's been pretty much a revelation for the past few seasons. I don't see, unless Harvey Barnes is just not fully fit, I don't see why you wouldn't want to have him and Garden on those flanks from the start, just to put that pressure on the other team. So that would be an interesting one. Does he start Harvey Barnes? Callum Wilson did make his return from a long-term injury. Tonali as well, has kind of been relegated to the bench. He seems to be favoring the Joe Willock Longstaff, Guimaraes midfield lately. But I think they have options there. So let's see how he kind of shuffles the deck around. Of course, after that result last week, I'm sure he'd want to change something going into this one. So for me, that's probably what I would think would happen. Joe Linton falling back into that midfield, making way, maybe Longstaff, maybe Willock. And let's see if the likes of Sandro Tonali actually starts this game instead of coming off the bench. And also, what does he do with Harvey Barnes? So some options for Eddie Howe. Let's see if he plays the right cards. I would start Harvey Barnes. I would start Tonali as well. I'd have to, I don't think Joe Willock and Sean Longstaff have to play every game, and it looks like he's kind of favoring them at the current moment. But Sandro Tonali is quality. He's starting for Italy again recently. And I just think, he's too good to be sitting on the bench. And I feel the same about Harvey Barnes. He gives you that balance. They can't overload on Gordon's side because Barnes will hurt you in a 1v1 on the other side. So, yeah, if I am Eddie Howe, I'm figuring out a way to get my best players starting. And it's not like you have to pigeonhole any of them. You have the players that make sense for the areas. You just have to stop playing, Longstaff and Willock so much. Even though Willock plays well, Longstaff plays well, but I just feel like Joe Linton and Tonali are better midfielders than them. So, that's just my feeling, and it's still. But we'll see, people. Crystal Palace, Newcastle. Was that 2-2 just a blip for Newcastle? For Crystal Palace, or have they, figured something out? They beat Tottenham at home, they drew with Wolves, they lost to Fulham at home, and then they went to Villa Park and got a point. So, very, very hard to figure out what's going on with them. Also, Newcastle, they beat Arsenal, who is currently third. Forest, who I think was third a few weeks ago. They beat them away. They had a really good performance against Chelsea in this 2-1, but they didn't get over the line. And they lost at St. James Park twice, once to Brighton and once to West Ham. So really, really strange type of season for Newcastle right now. Can't get any consistency. I think that's why you see them in 10th place, even though they're probably a team that is not really punching above their weight, Crystal Palace still in the relegation zone right now on 8 points in 19th, but I think that they also are a team that, probably won't be there for so long. Last year, the home teams won these fixtures, so sometimes that might play into it. Selhurst Park, though, I'm going to say this game ends in a draw. I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1. 1-1 Crystal Palace and Newcastle. Yes, people, that is my take on this one. Yeah, man, Immigrant Day. Yeah, man, me the catch it game, birds. Pristine said 2-0 to Castle. All right. Red Skull said 1-0 to Castle. Nobody now give Palace no ratings. Yeah, give them a 1. All right. Pristine said she give them a 1. Feel sorry for them. May I say she. I'm assuming that you're a she, Pristine, because I don't know if a man could have named Pristine. I guess you could. But why did I choose a name there? Somebody finally give Palace a ratings. 2-1 Palace. Selhurst Park will be rocking. They pre like them could have win, Honestly, Well, I know Pristine are clean, but All right, so you're not a female then, Pristine. You're just clean as a whistle. All right, boss. All right, Forest Ipswich. And I go and drop on the Palace Newcastle scores if you don't drop them as yet. But the next game is Forest. Dropped down to 7 now after that defeat against Arsenal. 3-0 last week for them. Ipswich in 18th, back in the relegation zone after getting out for about a week, I think, after the victory over Tottenham. They had a decent result, 1-1 against United in Ruben Amorim's first game at the club, at the helm. This is how Forest started the game last week against Arsenal. Many people are a bit surprised how toothless their display was against Arsenal. Really didn't threaten Arsenal in any way. Very comfortable victory for Arsenal in the end. But this is how they started. Pretty much the back line and goalkeeper, you could close the eye and pick them if they're fit. They have been playing together for a few weeks in a row now. Midfielders is where he makes changes from time to time. So he went with Yates and Ward-Prowse. Dominguez was playing in behind the striker, but really and truly didn't get into those areas much. He was very deep in the system for the most part. He had Hudson-Odoi one side and Elanga the other, and then they went with Awoniyi up front last week instead of Chris Wood, which was very, very surprising. Not totally surprising because, you know, we looked at what happened last season and Awoniyi scored in both games and was a terror against our backline for both of the games, caused us a lot of problems. So maybe with Chris Wood coming off the international duty, a lot of travel for him, maybe the thought process was, you know, let's not overdo it. Let's give him a chance to, you know, give him a last 30 minutes or so, but really didn't work out because the game was pretty much, you know, for all intents and purposes, over by then. I mean, it was just 2-0 when he came on, but still, it just felt like the game was over, you know. Sometimes that they say that 2-0 lead is the most dangerous in football, but it never really felt that way on the day, you know. If we're being honest, you can kind of gauge the feeling of the game, and just felt like Arsenal were in control. But Forest, I think you'll see the same goalie and backline as long as everybody's fit. Midfield, like I said, is where you could see some changes. You know, I have noticed that Jota Silva has been getting a lot of time off the bench. Does he finally give him a start just to see how it looks with him starting? Maybe give Elanga a rest. You know, he did come off at halftime, was not very effective at all in the game. Hudson-Odoi has been the more consistent of those two wingers. So if he's going to make changes, I wouldn't expect it to be Callum. I think it would be Elanga, and Jota Silva would be the one that might get a start for once. I think Chris Wood does get back into the starting lineup this week as well. The Awani experiment, I think, was mainly just the international break, and also perhaps his form against Arsenal in the previous year might have influenced that decision as well. So I think it's back to Chris Wood up front. So all you fantasy folks that are worried about that, I think he'll be back in the starting lineup. This was Ipswich's lineup to play Man U last week. Muric in goal, Burgess and O'Shea, Twanzebe right back, Leif Davis left back, Sam Morrissey, the captain, always in there. Puts in a lot of work in midfield, tackling, breaking up the play, and also pretty good technically as well. Can take it in tight space, you know, shield the football, find the right pass, play out of pressure. Good, solid player, Sam Morrissey. They went with Cahusta last week in the midfield. He's on loan, I think, from a Serie A club. I can't remember which one right now, but he looks pretty decent on the ball as well. Not sure if he's quite up to the pace of the game sometimes, but very technical player. Then you had Omari Hutchinson, who I thought probably had his best game that I can remember in the Premier League ever. I thought he was very influential, and I know he scored a goal, which sometimes you think that's why I'm saying that, but I think even if he hadn't scored that goal, just the way he was able to find space for his team, collect the ball in tight space, under pressure, turn out of the pressure, play the release passes into the channels. You know, he was just really the conductor, the orchestrator for everything positive that was happening with Ipswich. I always had something to do with some part of that build-up. Smodics, sniper, very good, talented striker, good clinical player. Can do a job for you as well, can play wide in a midfield role. That's pretty much where he's been playing for Ipswich. And then Liam Delap, the youngster, full of quality, full of talent. I think just consistency really is which will come because he's young. But I think they have some good promising young talents in this team, and they need to continue to basically, you know, give them that experience because they're really relied on heavily in this team. Jack Clark started out the season getting a lot of starts, but recently has been coming off the bench more so. But yeah, Ipswich, you know, it's going to be a constant battle for them all season, I think, to get these points to stay up in this league. You know, they have been, you know, getting a few more points here and there. Like I said, they had a big win against Tottenham, drew with Leicester, drew with Man U. So 5 points in their last 3 for a relegation team. That's not terrible returns, to be honest. And then Nottingham Forest after a really great start, you know, 1-0 over Palace, 3-1 over Leicester, 3-0 over West Ham. Their last two, they've kind of been brought down to earth a bit. Lost at home 3-1 to Newcastle, and of course, away from home at the Emirates, losing 3-0 last week. So, can they kind of stem the tide? You know, they had 3 wins in a row prior to this. Can Ipswich make it 3 losses in a row? For me, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Forest gets back to their stingy ways. I think they keep a clean sheet in this game. And I think they win this game 2-0. So I'm going to go with a Forest 2-0 victory for this one, people. Yes. Nottingham Forest 2-0. All right, let's check in with the chat and see what going on. Chalom said 3-2 Newcastle. Big up yourself, Chalom. Do not smoke, cuss. Crystal Palace 2-1 over Newcastle. All right, DOC. So another person, Hutchinson and Fire, agreed. McKenna is a good coach. Check in, Duke. What go on? Where the birthday boy there? When the birthday boy might get lucky this week, you know. Old fashioned 9. Yeah, but I think him have like elements of the new school too, you know. I'm not mind for drop and link up, but yeah, he does. It means when him get into those 9 positions, quote unquote, very old school for real. Nottingham 3, Ipswich 2. Yeah, man, prediction start, man. We reach the 4th game. Brighton, Southampton, Brentford, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. And we'll take the scores now for the Forest Ipswich game, Duke. Red Skull said 3-1. All right. Red Skull locked in. Forest 3-1 as well. Game Bird. Doc Sports say McKenna is a good coach. Hutchinson is on fire. So DOC said 3-2. Ipswich. All right. Brighton 2-0 said Duke. And Castle 2-1. So the 3rd game. And then Nottingham 1-0. Brentford, Leicester, Duke. That's the only one you miss out. Right in mass. I'm sure I'm going to send me film one. Panama might not probably see it too. Brentford 1-all. All right, cool. So you're caught up, Duke. You're live. I don't know where Coach Edwards look like him drop out. I will have him first too. All right, now say a word, people. Smash the like button. I haven't even asked for that because you don't know. Man, just start talk about football and forget certain things. But all right, next game, people. Next game. Ooh, 2 sides of my love. Wolves and Bournemouth, people. So they telling the last week, you know. And I think me a madman, you know. But they telling us say Wolves not deserve for them with them there in the table. And then finally get a result where, you know, people maybe never saw coming, but they have had games like this where them could have beat teams 4-1 and it just wasn't happening for them. But last week, Wolves put it together. The finishing was clinical. Mateus Cunha playing unplayable football right now. Like one of the most informed players in the league for me. Goalkeeper, Jose Sarra came in. You know, he had a great season. I think it was 2 seasons ago where he was up there for one of the top goalkeepers in the league. Kind of had a drop-off last year, lost his place, but has returned and relegated what his name? It's not Johnstone. Them did have a start one time. Yeah, I think that's who was starting at first. But anyway, he's back to starting, looking good in goal again. You know, they have been dealing with some injuries on the back line. You know, they played Lemina in the defense last week, but he actually played really well from there, spraying passes from the back. You know, they went with Andre, the recent signing from Fluminense, and João Gomez. Rodrigo Gomez got the start. It was his first start that I can remember. And then Nelson Semedo as well was playing more of an advanced role on the right. And up front, they went with Bellegarde, Cunha, and Strand Larson. So, this manager really and truly chop and change a lot of things. I mean, Sarabia wasn't available. He had been starting. He didn't start Chan. He didn't start Forbes or Guedes. He went straight to Bellegarde to start up front. And he was rewarded. Guedes came on in injury time and got a goal a couple minutes after coming on to make it 4-1. But this game was all about Cunha, and I think this next game against Bournemouth will be all about Cunha again. As well as he does, that's as well as the team is gonna do. So yeah, I think that this guy Cunha is just on some crazy form right now. So I wouldn't put it past them to get another result this week. But let's take a look at Bournemouth. They had a tough 2-1 loss to Brighton last week. They were down 2-0, got a goal late to make the scoreline look a little better. But I thought they were in the game for long stretches. I would say Brighton was the better team, but Bournemouth, I think they're gonna have a big miss this week. Semenyo, a lot of their attack goes through him. He's out of this game through suspension, yellow card accumulation. So that's not a good look for him or them. So let's see who steps up in his absence. We have Otara, who is probably the most like-for-like sub in the team as far as, the skill set that he would bring, the directness he plays with. But he could go for a more technical player like a David Brooks in that role. He could play Unal as well as a more wide forward type of player, a supporting striker type player, just kind of taking up that wider position. Could play Clivert wide and play, a different player through the middle. So a lot of options with the pieces that they have. Interested to see how they, cope with life without Semenyo in their attacking setup. Because like I said, they do rely on him heavily for a lot of the things that they do. So that to me is the biggest difference. Bournemouth without Semenyo, I don't think is quite the same beast. And I just feel like Wolves are due for a decent run of form. That's they're unbeaten now in their last 4, 2 draws and 2 wins. So, this would be 5 games unbeaten if they can get a positive result. And I just think that this team will find a way to do so. I think Cunha and company are going to get some goals. I'll say that they score 3. And I think this Wolves defense, not quite fully at its best, probably still concedes a goal or 2. I'm going to say they win 3-1 though. So Wolves to win 3-1 this time in this matchup, people. I'm riding the Wolves wave. Cunha is class. I think Cunha is like 27, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. Either 27 or 28, somewhere around there. Can't remember when he was at. Wow. You see me, I met the man old. This man is 25, Yo, when this man went to Atletico for 30 mil, he was 22. Whoa. That's crazy, yo. I thought this man was older than that, 25 years old. He won't be 26 till May. So he was 22 when Atletico cop him. And him get loaned to Wolves. And that loan, so him get buy. Yo, enough club buy the man, 2018. In a June, him get buy for 15 million. Then by 2020 January, him get sell to Hertha for the same 15 million. Then August 2021, Atletico buy him for 30. Loan him in a December to Wolves. Him stay there until the season done. Wolves buy him for 50. And I bet you Wolves sell him for about 90 or 100. Yeah, man. 25 is crazy, bro. I thought he was older. 3-1 Wolves. Pristine. You're smart. Game Bird said 2-1. So me I go on like me and say some wicked statement. I say Wolves are going to win. Everybody say Wolves are going to win. Wolves 2 love. I know. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's a very good footballer. That guy. Red Skull said 3-all. I said maybe I think a 3-2 still, but I said 3-1 still. I love it. Stick with me 3-1. All right, so there's one more game to kind of discuss. All right, one more game. One more game. RR there again. 3-1 Wolves. RR, you missed 3 games, you know? Or you missed 2 games. Palace, Newcastle, Forest, Ipswich. All right, so let me get. Yo, I still can't believe Secunia at 25, bro. That's crazy. All right, so the last game on Saturday is the mighty Arsenal taking on West Ham. So we have to travel to the London Stadium. Short trip, obviously. West Ham, after back of that huge result at St. James Park, winning 2-0. Jumped up to 14th, I think. And Arsenal still in 4th place with 22 points after their 3-0 win. Just improved the goal difference a bit, so +9 now on the season. Last year, West Ham did get the better of us in December at home, and then we in February got some revenge. I think that was like the start of that big run where we were beating every team 6-0, 5-1, 4-0, 5-1, 5-0, all kind of madness. But West Ham's team last week was at least something different from what we've seen Lopetegui doing, and he actually got something to work this time. So Fabianski in goal. Looks like he has kind of taken the role from Areola because he's back fit but still can't get in the team. Todibo seems to always have to not finish games. I don't know if he's just not fully 100 yet or what, but he's had his injury problems since arriving. Kilman has been a mainstay in the back line. Wan-Bissaka chipped in with a goal last week, and he has been playing well, actually. Not a bad team, I must say. Emerson has stepped up his game lately. Had a really good set-piece delivery as well. Didn't really normally see him taking set pieces, so that's something different there. Then we have Carlos Soler, who started in midfield. I always figured when I saw his name on there with the style that they want to play, he looks like he can actually cover the ground, which is what I think has been missing in this midfield. Souček played a deeper role in this game, and I think that actually suited them better as well, because even though he's not the fastest, he does cover the ground pretty well, Souček, and I think he can get around a little bit better than the likes of Guido Rodriguez, who had been playing deeper in the system for the most part. Paqueta is the one, though, that I think we haven't really gotten him to get to any kind of level yet this season, so without him really at his best, I don't think West Ham can really be at their best either. Jared Bowen, Somerville got the start. I think is Kudus finally back for this game. I think this might be the end of his suspension, but I'm not really certain. But it should be soon. I mean, it's been a while. But yeah, West Ham. I mean, was that a one-off? Was that something that they figured out? We'll have to wait and see. But they definitely will have the test this week. I think Arsenal, not the best time to be facing us, to be honest. If I was an opponent, it looks like Odegaard is finally back to 100%. The team is playing with a lot more fluidity. We're creating way more chances. The defense has gotten stingy again. So yeah, I think right now is just a good run right now for Arsenal. And I don't know if West Ham is quite there yet. I mean, yes, they had a really good result last week, but is that something that's really going to be sustained? That is the question. Mikel Antonio, still struggling to get opportunities on target or on goal. Still doing his work as a striker, causing trouble to the defenses and everything. But at some point, he will also want to get more involved in the GA category. I just don't think it will be this week, Mikel. I'm sorry. And on the Arsenal side of things, this is how we started the game last week. So there were some surprises when you saw the lineup. I think the back four was pretty much probably going to be this. We don't really have another fit right back at the moment. And then, of course, we have options at left back. But the minute Calafiori was back fit, I figured he would be starting. Of course, Magalhaes, Saliba, Raya, I can pretty much write their names down. The midfield was where the surprises were sprung. I didn't think Jorginho would start the game. He did. Lasted 45 minutes. Hadn't really been getting that many minutes and was on a yellow card. So the coach decided to take him off, which probably was a really good idea. And of course, Partey thanked him by scoring about 7 minutes after he came onto the pitch. Bukayo Saka, I thought, was excellent in the game, as well as Odegaard. Right now, Saka looks to be one of the main people benefiting from Odegaard's return. The interesting thing for Arsenal going into this game, we saw where, the likes of Trossard and Jesus and Marino were benched for, Havertz, Martinelli, and Declan Rice to come back in. Is that something that we're going to see more of now that we've had such a long stretch of injuries? Is the coach going to be more willing to rotate the team when it comes on to not playing the same set of players, every game, every 3 days from the start? So that will be my one thing to watch in this game. How well did the likes of Timber and Calafiori come through a game last weekend and a game in the midweek? Will we see a Zinchenko get a start? He hasn't really started much this season. We saw Gabriel Magalhaes come off late in the last game. I think he's a warrior. I think he'll play. But it's just going to be interesting to see the rotation. Does he go back to this type of starting lineup just based on the fact that these players got to rest during the midweek for the most part and came off the bench? Or, I don't know. That's going to be something to watch. Also, the likes of Odegaard just coming back from injury, played 82 here, played about another 78, 80 and in midweek. Is it a time to start Nwaneri just to give him a rest? If it's not going well, they bring him on at halftime. But these are the little things that I want to see. Is Arteta going to make any kind of changes? Because I think the players have shown some strain on the body, and I think that's a part of why we're losing so many players to injuries. But I think that's why he gets paid the big bucks, right, for those decisions. So let's see. I think regardless, we have a squad that can beat this team on any day. I don't think that they have necessarily figured something out at West Ham. I just think that they were just better on the day than Newcastle. And I just don't see the way we're playing currently, unless we just have a bad day. I think Arsenal should win this one pretty well as well. So I'm going to say Arsenal take this home 3-0. So 3-0 away from home this time. 3-0. I think we'll keep the clean sheet this time too. 3-1 Wolves. I got that. RR said 2-1 Ipswich. Okay. And Palace 2-0. RR said 2-1 to the Gunners. Or the Gooners. Pristine, don't believe in it. 2-all. DOC Sports said West Ham 2. So how much Arsenal will get? Zinifim days done. Why Red Skull? You have to play people, you know. Now same days not done, but we don't want injure Calafiori him just forward black. West Ham 2, Arsenal 1. Boy. DOC, if that go on, I might not forward for Sunday night. For no kind of review. That break my heart. All right. Go on, smash up your likes, people. 25 are easy thing. We'll get to the 25 quick and fast. No, you can't say my troll. Him believe that can go on, man. I think if this was about 3 weeks ago, I would agree with you. But right now, I don't see it. Look like you want fans kill Teta. Hey, say last week, as you're talking a Red Skull, last week when the squad dropped, I see people on Twitter beat him, and I say, yo, stop take the ball game in the Premier League for joke. Oh, you start George and you not start Party. Oh, you start Marino and Rice now play. Even though Rice foot broke, I'm told mash up and bare things, you know. Why you start Jesus and you not start Havertz? So imagine if this game never got the way it went. They would have beat him. But may I tell you, say, I have to do that, bro. It's no point being happy and saying, yo, you know, so we have a decent squad and we have players here can support this player and, and then we not use them. It don't make no sense. Better you just buy 11 of the best and just call it a day. Yeah, that's why I said that, Red Skull. 3-0, Duke. Like the food gave some sense today. Yeah, man, look how fast them change, brother. Let me tell you, because we never take long for scoring at a game. How long we take for score? About 20 minutes. I don't remember when the goal them score. But that game there, brother, yeah, man, them switch up quick and fast. As we make two attack, the man them say, oh, man them start say, yo, Havertz can't play again because we play more fluid without Havertz and all kind of stuff. People just fickle, yeah, man. People fickle. All right, people, into the Sunday now. This is a nice matchup again. Chelsea, Aston Villa. This time last year when them team here play, the Jamaican fans them must say Whisper versus Bailey. Whisper, get him first team, run out. Don't rush, people, don't rush. All right, so Chelsea still in third. Same goal difference as Arsenal, just scored a few more goals than Arsenal, so that's why they're in third over Arsenal. Aston Villa in eighth now, so kind of a little bit of a dip in form for them. You know, lost to Liverpool, lost to Tottenham, draws against Palace and Bournemouth around those fixtures. So 2 points from a possible 12 in their last 4 games. Not the best returns for Aston Villa. Chelsea, on the other hand, had some tough fixtures. Manu drew with Arsenal, beat Newcastle at home, lost to Liverpool, and then had a good 2-1 victory against Leicester last week. Really should have been more than 2, to be honest. But I think this is one of the fixtures of the weekend. 2 really good teams. I think 2 coaches that have a clear plan, a clear way of playing, and a clear vision for their teams. So it's always nice to see when 2 teams like that play each other. Well drilled, you know, probably the highest line or close to the highest line in Europe, along with Barcelona, probably, I would say, at Aston Villa. But they are very organized. They draw teams offside a lot. This is what they started with last week. Had an issue at right back. Bogard really was not holding up on that side, so he had to come off at halftime. Matty Cash, who I don't think he really wanted to play so many minutes with Juve coming up in the week, was forced to play the second half. I think he starts again in this one. I don't think Bogard has really proven that, you know, he's ready for this level just yet. You know, maybe he just needs to trial by fire and keep getting games, but I don't think they can afford that right now. Maatsen did start this one and give Dini a chance to rest as well, with one eye to that Juve game in midweek. That will be a key one to look at. Will he start Dini or Maatsen in this game from the start? I lean towards Dini against Chelsea instead of Maatsen, but we shall see. In midfield, you know, also made a few changes. Ross Barkley started, got a goal as well. McGinn started, Yuri Tillemans, Morgan Rogers, and Leon Bailey. And then, of course, Ali Watkins up front. So, yeah, they are missing a few players in midfield. Onana is out right now. That's a big loss. Kamara did make his return against Juve from the start. So maybe he'll be into this lineup for the Premier League as well, even though he wasn't around last weekend. So, looks like they're trying to get healthy. Coach still hasn't figured out a system to play Duran and Watkins same time, so looks like we're never going to see that. And it looks like Duran is going to be just the player fouling off the bench. Leon Bailey still not quite looking like the Leon Bailey we saw last season, if we're being honest with ourselves. But I do think that the running is picking up a bit. Looks to have a bit more pace as well. So hopefully he's, you know, those dark days of just looking like he's making up the numbers are over, and we can get back to seeing some more production out of Leon Bailey. And then Chelsea, this is how they lined up last week against Leicester. Pretty much they just play a Premier League team and a Conference League team. I guess that's the benefit to playing in a competition like the Conference League, when, you know, pretty much you're not going to have the greatest opposition probably, you know, until you get to the knockout phases. But this is what they've been going with in the league typically. Colville and Badiashile is a bit different, honestly. But that's what they went with last week. Enzo Fernandez started again. Lavia not playing currently. I think he's back out. Well, he was on the bench, but he came on late. Enzo didn't play today in the Conference League, so maybe he'll be back starting again in the Premier League. Typically, that's kind of how you know what Enzo's going to do on the weekend. Also, Felix, who had been playing pretty much all the time in the Conference League, played 81 minutes and I think didn't play at all today in the Conference League. So he'll probably be starting again in the league for the weekend. So kind of you can get a sense of who's going to play based on who they play on that Thursday game. And, you know, the likes of Jackson, Palmer, Madueke were all rested, as well as Enzo Fernandez. So I expect all those players to be in the starting lineup this weekend. And yeah, I think as far as the back line goes, there's really not much they can do currently. They don't really have a right back in the team right now. Everybody's injured. So Wesley Fofana has been filling in over on that side of the defense. So I don't expect anything to change there. Chelsea at the Bridge playing Aston Villa. I think this will be a very good game. I think both teams right now are prone to making errors defensively. I think Aston Villa have been shipping way too many goals in the league lately. And it's interesting because they're one of the stingiest teams in the Champions League so far as conceding goals. But in the Premier League, they have just been shipping a lot of goals lately. I don't expect that to change. I think Chelsea, while they have been doing a better job defensively of late, you know, holding teams to 1 goal per game most of the time, I just feel like they have a mistake in them. And Villa is the type of team that will kind of expose those things. So I expect this one to be an entertaining game. And I think both teams will share the spoils. I'm going for a Desmond in this one. And if you don't know what a Desmond is, Desmond last name Tutu. So 2-all is what I will go with for this. Yo, RR always I put 3 Chelsea. And I don't know. All right, so 3-0 Chelsea. Okay. I'm just going to write 3 on Chelsea side. Villa 3-2 say Red Skull. All right. It'll be a big win for Villa. Duke said Chelsea 2-1. So he's going with the power of the Bridge. RR said Man City and Liverpool. (3-1) Liverpool, huh? All right, RR. Where say a time for him start the run? I think him gonna do it, you know. And it really and truly, I think him gonna do it. 2-1 Villa. So is what? Through Chelsea now, no Jamaican baller play. Everybody go with Villa, so. Villa not depend on farm for go over bridge and win right now. Yeah, man, 2-all draw that much I go draw, man. Either 2-all, 3-all. I think more than one I go score. So 2-all, 3-all, maybe even 4-all. That much I go draw. I have a feeling. A strong feeling too. But yeah, I think this is one of the better games, honestly. As a spectacle to watch, this will probably be a very entertaining game to watch. So definitely recommend. I think it's at a time when it's the only game as well at 8:30 time. So should be able to just watch that game by itself that morning. Oh, Man U play Everton same time. Well, you know which one I'll be watching. Damn, it's 3 games at 8:30. Yo, the man them say, yo, we are clear the space for the Liverpool City game. So Man U Everton at a game at 8:30, what that no one will be watching but the Man U fans. Even though I might throw this on my other device in a car. I'm kind of curious to see how they play on the Amorim, to be honest, you know. Well, the first lineup that Ruben Amorim came with last week was an interesting one. So they, you know, his system, a 3-4-3 basically, or a 3-4-2-1 really, with 2 number 10s in behind, and a striker, right? So In the back three, he went with Mazraoui, Delict, and Evans. Actually, this was pretty good, This balance of this back three was good. He had to sub out, I think Luke Shaw came on for him, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Luke Shaw came on. Of course, they have Lissandro as well. I think Lissandro, that's his best position, left center back in a three. So I think this actually makes sense for some of the personnel that they have, to be honest. Wow. People made have to mute my mic a while ago. Some Thanksgiving, the remnants, I don't think that would be very nice to put on the broadcast. So the midfielders, typically what he does, he plays one more defensive wing back and one more attacking wing back. So he had Dallo as one wing back and Amad Diallo as the other. And he went with Ericsson and Casemiro pivot. So no Uarte, which I thought was kind of strange, knowing that, he coached him at Sporting and everything. Maybe it's a case where he knows Uarte, so he wants to see what the other guy is giving him, maybe. And then the 2 10s, I thought one, the role really suited him, Bruno Fernandes. The other, Garnacho, I thought he looked lost in this kind of setup, not really playing as a winger. I think he's really, really and truly, you're going to get the best out of him as a wing forward, wide forward, whatever. So let's see how he kind of keeps going in this role. Rashford did score the goal early, and everybody got, really excited. But I think you saw as the game went on the reasons why we have seen this not even experiment, but we've seen Rashford as a number 9, and we know why it doesn't work. He just doesn't retain the ball well enough with his back to goal. The ball doesn't stick enough. For whatever reason, he's just way better technically when he's wide and he's facing the defenders as opposed to with his back to them. So yeah, so we'll see if he continues with him up front this week or if he goes back to, the likes of a Hoyland or a Xerxes, who might be a little bit more familiar with what he would want in that role. He may see, I think in his system, Xerxes would work best playing where Bruno or Garnacho played, to be honest. And that's actually where he came on and played. So let's see, moving forward, how that goes. Where does he see some of these players? Kobe Mainu is on the bench, not quite fully fit yet, but where does he fit in when he's back playing? Mason Mount, it seems like he's trying to get something out of him. Saw him play today in their Europa League game in that role. Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes just behind the striker role. So let's see what he goes with. I think, Anthony, we know that he's probably going to be a wing back in this system. So let's see. He played today. They did win their game 3-2, I think I saw. So just want to see how he continues to rotate the team, what he's looking for. One thing I will say about him, though, it's clear that he has a certain way he wants to play, and that's great, because I think at times people were a bit, wondering what the hell is the last coach's style of play, So identity is crucial right now in football, and it looks like they'll be able to at least have a clear one under this manager. This is Everton's team last week that drew 0-0. They played the majority of the game upper man, but still couldn't find a goal. Yeah, pretty much this is the team you're probably going to see from them tomorrow as well. You might see one or a few changes, but Harrison might come in for Lindstrom. But other than that, this is pretty much who you're going to see. Iliman NDI, really good player. Need to get him more involved. Dwight McNeil was on fire a few weeks back. Let's see if he can get back to some kind of form like that. But yeah, I think one thing with Everton, they've been able to get some points lately because they have been a lot more stingy in defense. As you can see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where the team only scored 1 or less, and 3 of those 5 they have clean sheets. So that's really what's keeping them in these games and getting them up the table now to 15th on 11 points. But United, I think this is probably one of the better ways you could start your home campaign as a new manager for Man U, playing Everton right now. Not a team that's gonna, pose, or they shouldn't pose so many threats in terms of, conceding chances to a team like Everton. The main thing is you just want to make sure you kind of, get a goal relatively early enough where you kind of force Everton to play a bit differently, because I think Sean Dyche should be totally comfortable making it 3-0 results in a row. Yeah, I think I think Amorim gets his first Premier League win, people. You know what? Sean Dyche ball. 0-0. This game going to be 0-0 again. Watch this. Everyone will watch Man U. That's a lie. They look pretty good today. Yeah, I didn't watch the game. I can't lie, people. Today, I never watched. I don't think the most football I watched, I think I watched maybe 20 minutes of the Chelsea game earlier today. And that was only because at that time, I was based in the rib roast and I was just kind of in the kitchen and I had some time to just do that. But other than that, the only thing I did football related or channel related today was make the thumbnail for this and make the thumbnail for the live stream tomorrow. But yeah, I'm just gonna binge some highlights after this because I was gonna watch Cranky's interview, but him tell me that it get cut off, so I don't even know if it's even worth watching. 2-1, we need them confidence so we can beat them Wednesday. All right, so you're calling for the victory for Man U so that when we book them midweek, okay. Today Amorim play Malacia and Anthony. Yeah, I saw that. And that's pretty much sticking with the principle, right? Because Malacia more of a defender, Anthony more of an attacker. So usually it's gonna be one or the other. So you would never see him play Anthony and Ahmad or Garnacho and Anthony or whatever, or Ahmad and Garnacho. Think of Holland him go play for number 9 role. Holland will play Xerxes which is on the 3rd row of the benches. Pristine said 2-0. Yeah, my hold my hands up, people. I was telling Man United fans, Xerxes will do good for you guys, But boy, I don't know what's wrong with him, man. Even when I saw him playing for Netherlands the other day in the window, he was playing damn good. And I'm thinking, yo, why you look so shabby for United, bro? 2-1. DOC. I'm going to go for the upset week. 2-1 West Ham, 2-1 Everton. Whoa. You want Amorim in the hot seat early out. Liverpool beats Man City for sure. All right, Kennedy, we soon reach there. But one game leave and never gone. Anthony looks better suited in this system. Okay. Well, we're going to see. I mean, I'm going to get him chances. He said he was going to, everybody that's there, him say I'm going to try them out and see what them have. And so, all right, this one should be another good game, people. Spurs and Fulham. So, of course, Spurs had the rigors of playing Roma today. A tough matchup for them, drew 2-2. Late, hard to concede so late as well, so draw that game. Fulham, of course, on the back of a 4-1 defeat at home to Wolves. I mean, one that most fans probably never saw coming. So, Fulham would want to be eager to show that that's just a blip. That's a one-off. That's not really what they're up to this season. And Tottenham, of course, who can forget last week they had a 4-0 victory over Manchester City. I thought for the first time as a manager of Spurs, Ange Postecoglou finally picked a team with some thought about the opponent. The back four pretty much had to pick itself because he had injuries. But in midfield, this is where I think he did right. Kulusevski had been playing midfield for the entire season. Very well, I might add. But what he had been doing for a long stretch was playing, Bissouma or Bentancur and then playing Maddison and Kulusevski in midfield. And they were getting overrun in that midfield too often because Kulu and Maddison, for as creative and as attacking, influentially attacking they can be, I don't think that they have the same amount of effect on the game on the defensive end. Now, Kulusevski will put in the work, but he's just not a natural defender. So sometimes, just instinctively, he might not cover the right spaces. not help with defensive transition the way he should. When you have Sarr and Bissouma who more understand the position, more understand the role, box to box role, the center defensive midfield role, it just gives you better stability. So I thought, yes, City did create because City is City, but I think they were limited because Tottenham were not as open as they have been. So, I think if he's smart, people, he's going to have to sacrifice one of Son, Kulusevski, and Brennan Johnson every game. Because the minute he plays Brennan Johnson and Son and Solanke in the middle, then you'll be tempted again. Then you lose Maddison because you probably bench him if you want the balance. Because Kulu has been playing better than Maddison. So, I think this is just a better balance for the team, for Spurs. So let's say if he goes back to this where it's more of a two working midfielders with a creator and then you play a front three, or will he go back to the two creators and one, more box-to-box defensive midfielder to try to make up for Maddison and Kulusevski maybe not being the best, box-to-box midfielders ever, So I think I am wondering if he did this because it was City or he did this because he thinks it's better. So we'll find out because they're playing Fulham at home this week. And, this man might just play Maddison, Kulusevski and blow out, a next attacker in a midfield just because he's a madman. But yeah, Spurs, big result for them last week. Then Fulham, I'm sure this is a game that they would not even want me to pull up on the screen because they want to forget this game as quick as possible. They got the 4-1, and funny enough, it was them who opened the scoring through Iwobi in the 20th minute. But this was who they started with last week. Don't expect that to change. Keeper at the back four. I think they will, unless any suspensions or anything, I think they will play again. Iwobi has been playing really, really well this season for Fulham. Can't play well for Nigeria though. Andres Pereira dropped deeper into the midfield this season, maybe not getting the output in terms of the goals and assists that he was getting last year, but I think he's actually surprised me in this deeper role, not doing too badly. Lukic played the whole game. Smith Rowe had a quieter game for him last week. Reece Nelson now, I think that's about 3 starts in a row for him, so that's good to see him getting the minutes. And then Raul Jimenez started again, even though he traveled all over the world for Mexico. Traore, Muniz, pretty much bench players at this point. Harry Wilson probably will never start because he had the hottest couple of weeks in his life and still couldn't start. But yeah, I think the coach is pretty settled on his 11 right now. He likes the players that he's been starting with. So, he'll just be looking to erase the memories of that performance last week. Fulham is the type of team, though. I think they tend to turn up and run like, you see, like this game here, when I'm going to Tottenham, then probably play well this game. Typically, I think they play to the opposition sometimes. If they have a game that, you're thinking they should win, they might not play as well. But when they play the top teams, they usually give them a really good game. I think, it don't look like it's that hard to take chances or create chances against City. But at the time when they played City, City wasn't playing like how they are now. And they should have won that game. I mean, Traore missed like 4 chances by himself. So I think Tottenham will have a fight. And I think also lately, they kept a clean sheet last week. But I think the absence of Romero, Van de Ven, it has to play in at some point. And now they have lost Vicario. So, yeah, I think with all those things, you lose your centre-back pair and your goalkeeper, it's bound to cause some issues. And I think Fulham right now just need a bounce back. And maybe the rigors of the City win, playing Roma this week in the Europa, that's gonna weigh on them too. So I'm going for the shock defeat here, people. 2-1 to Fulham. 2-1 to Fulham. Actually, no, I'm not gonna go so far. I'm gonna say 2-2. 2-2. This game going to draw 2-2. The typical letdown for Spurs, beat everybody and then do that. Pep head red already, brother. Man, scratch off him head till it red out. Pristine said 2-1. Spuds. Red Skull said the same. Game Bird say 3-2. Me da go say 3-all, you know, but 2-all me I say. So who not give me no score? DOC and Duke. DOC and Duke, me not getting a score. All right, people. Now, final game for the preview show, people, where I go through. Yeah, why me keep on and do that, people? Jeez and peace. 3-1. Yeah, man. I just have a feeling like Spurs are going to just do up themselves this weekend. All right, so that is the Spurs Fulham matchup, people. So the last one is probably the biggest one for the weekend, to be honest. This is Liverpool versus City, 1 versus 2 in the league. It's an 8-point gap currently. So I don't even know. Should I want City to win? I don't even know if I want City to win. Maybe after I know my result, I'll tell you what I want to happen actually. I personally just want a draw still. Whenever the two opponents ahead of me play, I'd rather it just draw. But this was Liverpool's team last week that faced Southampton. Of course, down 1-0. No, wait, how did it go? 1-0, 1-all, 2-1. Yeah, they were down 2-1. Then they came back to win 3-2. But this was the lineup that they used to start the game. Now, this was after the international breaks. I remember telling you that I had hope for Southampton to get the result because the only loss they picked up this season was after an international break. And typically he doesn't play the South Americans when they come back. So I said maybe they'll, maybe that could cause a problem. But this is what they started last time. Robertson played this game and started against Madrid. Bradley the same. So basically the back four and the keeper have played two basically full 90s this week. The midfielders, Soboslai was rested in the midweek, so I think he'll start again in the Premier League. Salah played at the weekend and the week. Curtis started both games as well, but came off 60 seconds, so I had some rest there. Gakpo came on and scored against Madrid. So he rested Diaz and McAllister. So basically the same thing held true. The only South American that came back and started was Nunez. And then he started in midweek as well. I think McAllister steps back into the starting lineup from the start. And I think also there's a possibility we might see Gakpo left and Diaz through the middle like we saw them in the Madrid game. But let's see. He might go with the out-and-out striker just to keep it simple and then make his decisions after. But options are there. Will Robertson start a third game in a row? That is a question. Of course, right now there is not the cover of Tsimikas, I don't think. So maybe that's why they have been leaning on Robertson so heavily. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. We know Bradley might have picked up a knock. Trent, he said, is good enough to go. So we should see Trent enter back into the field of play as well. So Liverpool, will their crazy run of games continue? As you can see on the form book, they have won 1, 2, 3, 4 out of their last 5. The one draw against Arsenal at the Emirates, that 2-2 draw. Then last week, City basically made it 3 losses in a row in the Premier League. And it was the worst loss that they have had at the Etihad. I want to say under Pep Guardiola. But basically, this is who they started last week. Kyle Walker, I think he's a shell of himself so far this season. I don't think he's actually fully gotten back to fitness yet. Ederson in goal made some mistakes last week as well. Also in the midweek game in the Champions League. Would he ever think to give Stefan Ortega a start? I don't know. John Stones can't really get fit this season. It looks like Vardiol, probably one of their best players this season, but lately has been making some bad defensive errors. Akanji, I don't think he's fully 100 either, but he's had to been brought back because there's no one else. Gundogan played deeper in the system in this game. Don't think it works with him back there. He needs to play further forward. I would just play Rico and Bernardo deeper, honestly, and just don't make Ilkay play so deep anymore. Then you had Foden, Savinho, and Haaland. After a bright start from Savio, looking like he was going to just create all the time, he has kind of fallen off a bit. Foden hasn't really gotten going yet this year, to be honest. Decent in the Champions League, but in the league has been really quiet. Haaland still leading the league in goals, but his expected goals to goals has really dropped off lately. So he needs to get back to his more clinical self. But yeah, the good news, I guess, for City, De Bruyne looks like he's getting back to somewhat fully fitness. Grealish looks like he's fit again as well. Ake is just now back as well. So they're getting some players back. But I think the main thing right now is Rodri's out, Kovacic is out. Those two guys pretty much understood that role in this system really well, and they actually had the physical attributes to pull it off. I have no doubt that Silva, Lewis, Gundo, all these players, they understand the role, but they just can't physically do it. Yeah, so look, Pep is searching right now. He's scratching his head out. He's scratching off his nose. He's scratching everything in the world. But yeah, how long will this last? I mean, this has been going on for a while. Them not being able to get results. Last year, if you look, both games really tight, 1-1, 1-1. A part of me wants to say that continues tomorrow or Sunday. Sorry. I just feel like, for one, can City lose 4 games in a row in the league? I guess it's possible. But yeah, I'm just not sure. I think it's gonna draw though. I really do. I think it's gonna draw. I think it ends up in another Desmond, So that's 3 Desmonds I'm going for this weekend. All right, so Nick forward. Blessings, Nick. The spread where you were looked very nice as well. I would envy you, but I was eating good myself too. Gamebird said 2-2 as well. Yeah, man, Nick. Let's go and drop them, Nick. I write the Brighton score for you. Bless up, Gigs. Yeah, I want a draw too. News from JFF? No, not tonight. Not tonight, Javari. Not tonight. No headaches in the stream tonight. We can live good. Boy, I don't know when I'm going to bring some news from JFF, because tomorrow night, may I live stream the women girls, the reggae girls. Then Saturday night, we'll probably do a post-match and preview for the second girls match. Sunday night, we're going to do a review show. Monday night is something else. Monday night is something. And then I'm vexed because the second leg of the damn Caribbean thing is the same night as the second girls friendly star. And them mess me up badly. They say I want a draw or a City win. Fair enough. All right, so pristine. We need pristine. No, we don't need pristine score. She said 2-1. Him said 2-1. But I want pristine. It's like I want to make pristine a girl star. Oh, I never did a show on this. My bad. Boy, that's a good question, Duke. Me I talk about me a live stream the girls tomorrow. And I don't get no I don't know of any place showing it, but I mean I was just gonna go to the sites that I usually go to that show football around the world, So let's see. Let's see. Me know said Duke could have said something about that, Liverpool, what? Liverpool 3-1. Yo, DOC, me never get the Tottenham Fulham game for you though. That's the only game. Unless we miss it. Yeah, man, the last one they do was Everton Man U. So send on the Tottenham Fulham DOC. I'm have everything. Alright, see the 3-2. Cool. Fortis, mad thing. Yeah, but seriously, Duke, I have no clue. As a matter of fact, send a message there. I think that's everybody, you know. Red Skull. Red Skull. Red Skull. Red Skull, are you want me to get the last game for Liverpool, Man City, and then Nick just send on the whole of them. Or text me or something. Yes, NDI, very good player. He was good at I think he was at either Sheffield or Stoke before that. One of them red side there. But yeah, man, he's a good baller, man. Very good baller. And he was good last year at Marseille too. I was actually surprised he left Marseille. To be honest. Will be all night. Sheffield. Yeah, I'm there, Sheffield. And then go Marseille for 17 mil. Then turn around the next season and get buyback from Everton, 18.5. And he's only 24, so it ain't like him, you know. And he's been playing well for Senegal too. He had a decent AFCON for them. I think he should get more game for Senegal, actually. Kind of hate on him a little bit. B is 3-1. Sting them. B is 3-1 for Sting them. Palace 2-1. Fly upon them. And Forest 1-0. Yeah, I haven't heard a thing. I just sent a few messages out, so see if anybody respond. Make us see if anybody respond. Red Skull said 3-3. A classic. I could see it still. Yeah, he played good in the previous window. Yeah, man. Every time I ever see him get game for Senegal, he play well. But he don't always get game. Go back to Africa. Boy, I may have pre it in a mission gamer. A long time may have pre do that, you know. Where I'm wanted, you know. Sometimes I don't feel so wanted in a certain places, you know. Well, that's all the games for the week, you know, people. I'm have a quick turnaround, you know. I think this might be the first game week we don't do no preview or post because the game them play on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. Huh. I don't know where to go, people, because international window are going, then other things are going, so I might have to just do like a community style prediction, you know, for the midweek game. Then, you know, me just drop my scores in the community and then drop in the comments. And then I'm gonna do my preview show for the weekend. I can recap how the game them go That's so. Yeah, community I'm gonna have enough time to do the actual content. Yeah. So I've got to work it that way there. So a community prediction for the midweek games, people. That's how we're gonna have to run it. You drop it like Monday night, and then just go and drop on a comment throughout the day on Tuesday and thing. So I forgot to run it, people. So I forgot to run it. You don't know you have to work with it. Alright, Nicholson and the rest of them. Wolves 2-all, West Ham 1-all. Chelsea 2-1. Mission Gamer, you're from Africa? Where are you from? Yeah, send me Africa. Are you from Africa? What? Highland score a brace today? And Garnacho played the whole game. Yo, why Ajax so bad this year, man? They're like terrible. So I look on some scores from today. All right, 2-0 United, 1-0 Spurs. And 3-2 Liverpool. All right. Should be a good weekend. Have matches. Get a extra match on a Friday, you know. On a random day when you not expect EPL fair play. So we give thanks for like a Friday afternoon ball game, Brighton and Southampton. So yeah, we shall return people with the EPL Sunday night. Actually, we'll do the review show this time because the games finish Sunday this week. So Sunday night should be nice and fresh from the matches on Sunday and the Saturday matches to do a recap review show where we'll let everyone know how the predictions went, who was the best, who was the worst, who is the donkey, and all these things. And all the major talking points from the games. Hopefully no foolish referee decisions, but definitely I'm sure there'll be some of those too. So yeah, look out for that, people. Wasn't really much to show on the FPL side of things. Don't know, Mans is still clinging on to the lead. So let me just show you guys. Go on. I am sure Sports League. Big up yourself. I am sure Sports. If you haven't already, drop a subscribe over there. But this is the standings for the league right now. This guy giving the Gunners a bad name, the Firefox Gunners. In last place, Crazy Yard, Stamp FC, New Green All Stars, Rising FC, One and Move. Can't move up the table though. Drew Ross, big up yourself. 17th. T-Got, Cranky, Namesake, they all the way to 13th. What going for Namesake this season, man? J-Ross, big up yourself. Duke, the Red Rocket, in a 10th. Move just like him real side, in a mid-table there. Yeah. Dre, anyway, that's sports. You need to move up like Chelsea, in a 8th. Then, Fabi Frano, 7th. Glove and Palmer. Demo rising up the table fast. All the way up to 4th now. Him say, you know, me not know about nothing about top, so I must drop off. But you know, I think he must saying I was going to get like 50 odd points this week, but I think I had the highest points out of everybody, Demo. So I don't know, Demo. Bigs G, big up yourself. The second closest competitor right now. Montego Bay United in a third. Yeah, man. So we're going to see what can go on, people. I'm going to hold on the first spot. At least stay somewhere near there. And then in my draft leagues, first place in a one, first place in the other. So right now, at the treble me I go for, and me I do a good job right now. So yeah, man, me make you know as the time go, how I stay, if I still a win the treble in the fantasy or what. But yeah, it's gonna be nice to try to keep that league going forward. But anyway, people, we have gone through all 10 matches. We have gone through all the latest team news. We have gone through the recent form books. Yes, we have jotted down all of the predictions from the people who play in this week. Remember, if you did not catch this show live and you see that we did a show tomorrow or at any point before kickoff tomorrow at 3 o'clock, make sure to just drop a comment in the comment section. Put all 10 games. I will definitely add you to the big board, the big sheet. And yeah, we'll document it and see where you fall in the Gooner TV prediction standings for match week 13. All right, people. So this one was the contenders or pretenders show, because I truly believe that as we get closer to this Christmas time here, we're going to start to see some separation with these teams at the top, with those teams in the middle. Right now, it's all bunched up. Last week you start to see a bit of separation there. I think that will continue in the next 2 to 3 match weeks. So yes, this will be the time where we really see who are the contenders and who are the pretenders, people. So that's why we put that on the screen today. I think that this is going to be a very, very crucial part of the season. And I love the fact that my Gunners looks like they want to find form right when it's getting to this Christmas period, when it's busy, match every day. All right, people. So big up on yourself. Thanks again so much for the support. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, man. We know that the EPL is something that is broadcast all over the place with various, a number of people talk about EPL. But I really appreciate the fact that a select number always show up to just give me the support for these EPL contents. I am truly passionate about the EPL as well. I know that most of you probably follow my channel due to the association to the reggae boys and Jamaican football and everything. But honestly, I just love football as a fan, and I will never cut out these type of content, regardless if it's 5 people. I enjoy talking about this league and these teams, so I will always do it, people. So big up on yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we can continue to spread the word. I'm seeing the viewership on these start to increase, not really at the biggest increments, but I definitely have noticed a difference lately. So thanks so much for all the support, people, and big up again. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV, and this has been the EPL preview show, match week 13. Thanks so much for the support again. What a time I'm in nose.